All right, we want to welcome in our panel now to discuss this historic hearing. We have Dr. Stephen Greer. He's founder of the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, also the Disclosure Project. We welcome in Professor of Science and Astrophysicist at Harvard, Avi Loeb, as well as retired U.S. Navy Chief Master at Arms and investigative filmmaker Sean Cahill. Thank you, all three of you, for being here. And I know all of you watched every moment of this today. Sean, I actually want to start with you because you were an eyewitness to part of the Tic Tac incident that was described today. What is your reaction to the hearing today?
I was quite emotional watching the hearing today. It's been a very long battle to get this information out, to get it treated with respect and with dignity. A great deal of the information that was useful to most people is classified, and it required the pilots and other eyewitnesses to come forward. So I'm very heartened by what happened today. We have truly crossed the Rubicon. This is a very historic event.
Is there a moment in particular that made you particularly emotional today?
It was towards the end of one of the gentleman's speeches where I believe it was Representative Burchett, where he acknowledged all of the people who have worked behind the scenes over the years to keep this alive and to not allow it to be obfuscated to the point where it was completely disregarded. I represent a great deal of those people, and I work with them every day, and you may hear it in my voice right now. We have truly achieved something revolutionary today, and I look forward to the results.
Yeah, I really feel that from you. And Dr. Greer, what stood out most to you today?
Well, I think it's gratifying. You know, I've been briefing people like the CIA director for Bill Clinton since 1993, and been recommending hearings like this, open hearings. I will say there are a few points that need to be explored. One is Mr. Grush actually can speak about anything he found out about these projects because we can prove in a court of law that they've been run illegally. In other words, senior people in the White House, Pentagon, Congress, Senate intelligence committees that I've met with have been denied access. So therefore, the National Security Act is vitiated in terms of secrecy so long as those programs are being run illegally, and they are being run illegally. I can say that with some direct authority. And secondly, I think it's very important for people to understand there are two types of UAPs. There are the man-made ones, no question. My uncle was lifetime Northrop Grumman, worked on the lunar lander module. I think we have to understand that a significant part of the phenomenon is actually clandestine but illegally managed human reverse engineered advanced technologies, as they're called, ATs. And some are non-human intelligence, there's no question. So I think this needs to begin to be looked at more critically in terms of what part of the phenomenon falls under which category.
I mean, it's fascinating, and what a can of worms. We could be talking about this for the rest of the show. I do want to get to Professor Loeb. What is your reaction to the hearing today?
Well, I think what's most important is the evidence, the information, the factual information that we heard. You can think of yourself as a member of a jury, learning about what the witnesses are talking about and trying to decide whether it's credible and what your verdict might be. To me, the existence of materials and potentially objects that were retrieved by the U.S. government is of greatest significance, because if it's true, this information should be shared with scientists. The government is not a scientific organization. The government should not hide the existence of neighbors in our cosmic environment. This is a subject that scientists should be engaged in, and in fact I am. The sky is not classified, the oceans are not classified. This has nothing to do with national security, because anything coming from thousands of light years away doesn't care about how we split the land on this rock. We need to know whether such a thing exists, and for us to figure it out, it should be a matter of science. So let's forget about people dealing with people, which was a lot of the discussion. What we need to worry about is, what do we have as material evidence? Let's look at it and study it scientifically. And I very much hope the government will release that information and provide it to scientists like myself. I lead the Galileo project, which is aiming to bring clarity to this subject.
Sean, I want to go back to you with the time we have left. What is the most important thing that you think was left out from today's hearing, and where we should go next?
Well, I agree with Dr. Greer and Dr. Loeb on the importance of the scientific efficacy and providing evidence. As a law enforcement officer for 20 years, We need to see this as a law enforcement operation. Mr. Grush is the reporting officer. The evidence is very important, but the people's stories and the people's observations of these events are equally as important. So marrying the technical data with the observational and anecdotal data will be the most important part of this going forward, I think.